to the fifth and final game of my adventures at PUPCON 2009, and I've been pitched up against Dark Elves again. Surprise, surprise. Well, what you see here, I don't know if it looks that obvious, but he's castled, and I'm not that big a fan of people against castling, but it is a tactic that's that it is employed by people. Of course, I didn't whinge about it in the game. It's just that I didn't really enjoy myself this game because I knew it meant that I would do all the movement, and all he was doing was just shuffling around in that little corner there. But castlers. Yeah. Anyway, going on to the next photo here, you've see me in with the rock lobber. Now what he had is he had a repeated bolt thrower up on that hill. You can see in the background there. And what I done was, because I couldn't really shoot at anything else because he's hiding himself in obstacles or ruined buildings, I took a pot shot with the rock lobber, and it actually hit on target with the on the repeated bolt thrower. And I destroyed the repeated bolt thrower just like that, and it allowed me to maneuver my wyvern up onto the right-hand flank there. I don't know if you can see, but on the top right-hand corner you can see the big fella, the wings. He's sticking on the wyvern. There you go. But it wasn't long before his harpies, who survived fanatics, who survived a couple of shots from bolt throwers and the night goblin archers. They managed to live, and they just charged it about 2 or 3 turns later, as you can see here. And I thought the bully would stand up to it, but obviously not. He killed the bully straight away when I told him that it's toughness 4 and it's got a chopper, so it's got strength 4. And you reduce the leadership by 1 if you manage to kill him, and he did. And that was the end of the rock lobber. And prior to that as well, he took out a bolt thrower as well. So my shooting was drastically reduced down to bits. I do have to admit that Doom Diver throughout the tournament did okay. In this game, I caused 3 wounds on the Hydra. Of course, didn't manage to kill it because the last shot that I took at it was a stray shot. In other games, it did alright. It didn't do too bad. I think the best game that the Doom Diver had throughout the whole tournament was against the Dark Elves before this. Took out, I think, 7 knights, including a Dark Elf, the hero level Dark Elf. And as you can see, the Shaman there as well. I used the level 1 throughout the whole tournament. Used them as a scroll caddy. I think next tournament I'll be bringing a bit more magic with me. Just for fun, and because a lot of people who take vampire and demons list, they tend to take a lot of magic, and you have to have something to counter their spells. I mean, I use the Morg Spirit Totem with my BSB, but the extra dice from another shaman, it might help. I mean, it will go from 6 dispel dice to 7 power dispel dice. Sorry, keep saying power dice. So we'll see how we go with the next ones. Actually, I've got a couple of games underway, practice games for the next tournament, so if I get some done anytime soon, I'll more than likely post it up on the internet. Anyway, next photo, maybe longer, you can see the wyvern making the most out of the flank, right-hand flank there. I made a mistake of putting the pump wagons on the far right-hand side, and it took pretty much the whole game to get him across the other side of the board. They didn't do anything. I wasn't really expecting them to do anything because he was bunkered up in those ruins anyway. And like I said, I made the most of the wyvern, moving along the flank. But it's just it took so much time getting the boys around to that side of the table because I was march blocked because of those harpies now. And whenever I tried to shoot it, I just could not hit. Well, what can you do, huh? In this photo here, you see the Squeak Hoppers. They roll the 6 on the animosity table and move forward, and that got me in range of the Dark Rider flanks. I only actually killed 2 in the turn that they charged, and they managed to hold Surprise, surprise. And it's just the way the things are going for me at the tournament. I mean, when things would look nice and look like I was gonna do well in some combats here and there, my opponent would just roll what he needed to get in terms of leadership tests or break tests. And in this case, he held me up. I held him up as well, but it would have been nice to break these guys a lot sooner. After I broke these guys a turn later, the squig hoppers managed to move towards the left-hand flank and take on some shades. But then after wiping out the shades in one go, I overran, and I got within charge range of his Hydra, who I didn't think would charge. He didn't charge, but he did blow me away with his flame template weapon, his breath weapon, and that was that. Moving along now. See here, moving the Wyvern into position. Now this is the last photo that I have, so I'll give you a quick rundown of what happened. You can see the squig hoppers on the left-hand side there. They're being attacked by the Hydra with his breath weapon thingy-majiggy, and just wiped them out. Yeah, it was embarrassing. But anyway, it moved on. Moved forward, and it attacked the Orc boys just behind those wolf fighters you can see there. They attacked them, and then when I opened up its flank to my chariot and the BSB's unit with 25 boys, they refused to do it and both failed their fear tests. And I had that Hydra down to 2 wounds, so I think I would have been alright, because I would have had a chariot in its rear, and then I would have had the 25 boys in its flank, but they refused to budge. You can see he's also whatchamacallem, Blackguard. You can see the Blackguard there in the middle. I think we named that as a building as well, even though it looks more like an obstacle. Anyhow, he camped his Blackguard in there, and knowing that I wasn't going to charge anyway, because I wouldn't go in there. There's no way I'd beat 14 Blackguard with the Wyvern on the chariot. No, there was no chance I was going to charge in there. That'd be silly. He had an assassin in his army, and I just had a feeling they would be in the big unit that's not in the building at the top there, as you can see. What I did was I moved the Wyvern towards that unit first, make him take a terror test, but he passed that with ease. But I moved him to the other side of the Dark Elf Spearman that's hiding in the building, and he failed the terror test, and they ran away. And they ran away towards that building on their right-hand side, and they were destroyed. I charged that bolt thrower with the wolf riders, and I just couldn't do anything in combat. He couldn't either, but he kept passing his break test because the leadership of the general was just there, leadership 10, so they're not going to budge. Anyway, at the end of the day, it was a 10-all draw. I think him wiping out the Orc boy unit with the Hydra was the difference for him, and I think he would have got up 11-9 had I not caused the Spearmen to take a terror test and destroy themselves completely. There wasn't that many kills in this game because it took me about 5 turns to get up to that point, and because of all the march block and all that, and I had to play conservatively because his bolt thrower just kept shooting my Lord, and I was just fortunate that he was alive, or the Wyvern was alive, because every time he'd randomize the hits, he would hit the Lord, and he would take his ward save and pass his 5+ ward save. So yeah, 10-all draw, way to end the tournament. After seeing the results and throughout my 5 games, I actually came 20th out of 30, which is not bad considering that it was a very competitive field. A lot of good players did turn up. A lot of top 20 players in Australia did turn up. And a couple of those guys are actually representing Australia in the European Team Championships. This is a good build-up for them. It was a good build-up for me as well. I realized that more models on the table doesn't necessarily mean better. I could have spent the extra 250 points that you get for greenskins on, say, magic items or beefing up units even more. I think I had too many diverting units that fled and just kept running away because of such low leadership. But something to take into consideration for the next tournament. And yeah, any more battle reports, I'll chuck them up. Hopefully videos work, and hopefully I can get myself a new microphone as well. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later.